Good morning, y'all. You are rocking with the Locked and Loaded RN. If you're new to my channel, bienvenidos. If you're one of my awesome subscribers, welcome back. I was watching a video last night that was basically different people that worked in different jobs or different situations, and they were saying the 5 things that they learned after being in that situation or working that job for a certain amount of years. And I didn't see anyone do one, at least that I saw, for nursing. So I said, let me do the same thing. I could already tell y'all from now there will probably be a part 2 or a part 3 because there's so much that I've learned in my 5 years of nursing. I've been a nurse since 2019 and I've worked in just about every setting. My first job was in the ICU. I worked in nursing homes. I did home care. I worked over group homes. I did a little bit of everything. I did public health nursing, like mobile screenings for the public. I've done a little bit of everything. The only thing left for me to do is psych and work in corrections, and I think I'm all set on both of those. Anyway, so the 5 things, my first 5 things that I want to tell you I've learned in 5 years of nursing is, number 1, no one is your friend. You know, I see a lot of people go to work and they make buddies with the people at work. That particularly wasn't my situation because I've always known work is not the place for relationships or friends. But I've seen it go left for a lot of people. You know, the nurses that like to hang out together outside of work, that invite nurses to their home, to family things. And granted, there's always exceptions to every rule. I know that there's some people that made some of their best friends maybe at work. I just would rather stand clear from that because the problem is nursing is predominantly females, and not to generalize because again, I'm a female and I don't fit what I'm saying, but a lot of times women are very messy. You know, they're your friend today, and when they're not your friend tomorrow, they will drag your business through the streets. So I have literally seen with my own eyes the nurses that think they're friends laugh and talk, cry to each other, and as soon as the nurse walks away, the rest of them are like, yo, she's so dumb. Did you see what she wore at the baby shower? Blah, 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 blah. And then when they come back around, they're like, yeah, girl, yeah. That's what they do. I think it helps them that their day go by faster. It's a 12-hour shift, so I guess that's what they do. So number 1, no one is your friend. Listen more than you're speaking. Like, it goes hand in hand. So even if they come to bring you information about nurse blah, 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 I just listen and be like, I don't care how much it seems like she hates nurse blah, 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 blah. As soon as you respond and put in what you think or what you have to say, they'll forget to tell nurse blah, 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 blah what they said. All they'll say is she said or he said. My name is Bennett and I ain't in it. I don't care if y'all are rivals. My name is Bennett and I ain't in it. Okay? The second one kind of goes into the first one. Never let your first job know that you got another job. A lot of times, you think that they'll give you grace or they'll understand, when you come a little late or when you're tired. Oh, I got another job. So, girl, guy, don't do it. If they know you have another job, any mistake you make, they're going to say is because you're tired, because you're working another job. That's number 1. Number 2 is people are haters. They hate to see you making money or more money than them. Trust me. So the worst thing you could do is come and say, oh, yeah, even if you're trying to put them on, like, oh, you know what I'm doing? I'm working this other job. Maybe you want to apply there. They don't want to apply there because a lot of people don't have the grit or the stamina that you have. So you'll be thinking you're putting them on and they really just hate you. And I had this personally happen to me. Y'all know I used to go see my patients and then go work the RV job. And so I used to get there like maybe 5-10 minutes late, but I told them in advance that I'll run a little late, and they said, okay, no problem. But one of the nurses there that I was cool with, we weren't friends, but we were cool. She would ask when I got there, how many patients did you see today? And I'll be like, oh, girl, 15, 12, this, that. She like, wow, that's awesome. This, that, you killing it. Do you know that later on that week, I got an email from accounting from the second job saying for me to make adjustments to my invoice because what I submitted wasn't correct. And I was like, what are you talking about? What I submitted is correct. And then they said, mind you, these people are based in California. So we don't clock in, we don't clock out. We just send them an invoice. Then they said, what time did you arrive on Wednesday? I was like, okay, I was 15 minutes late on Wednesday. They said, yeah, and you put 4 hours and a half. So can you please adjust that? And going forward, please be careful to fill out your invoice correctly. As fast as I got that email, when I tell you I blocked that girl, because she used to be able to see my stuff on WhatsApp. I blocked her so fast because I was like, this girl doesn't even live in my state. So it's not even like if you want to work the job I work, you're a hater. So she must have wrote them and told them that I come late. Never tell job number 1 that you got a job number 2, number 3. Nope. Keep it quiet. Okay, the next one is jobs that have a sign-on bonus have a sign-on bonus for a reason. That means that they're having a hard time getting staff or keeping staff. And more than likely, it's for a reason. When you get there, you will see what the reason is. And the worst sign-on bonus that you could take on is one that they give you all of it in advance. And then if you leave, you got to pay them back. Or, they'll, sue you. I don't know. When I did take a sign-on bonus, I took one that came in pieces. It was $20,000. No, it was $12,000. I'm sorry. $12,000. And I was so excited. I was like, yes. $12,000. And they gave you like $4,000 every quarter. I lasted 1 quarter. And I quickly saw why they had a sign-on bonus. Jobs that have a sign-on bonus know that they can't keep people for a reason. Watch it. And again, you might say, I don't care. I'm going to thug it out and I'm going to get the sign-on bonus and keep it moving. If that's how you feel, that's how you feel. But just make sure that it's not situations that will put your license in jeopardy. Because imagine being excited about making a sign-on bonus of $12,000 and losing your license that gets you 80 to 6 figures. That's crazy. I don't even know what number I'm on, y'all. Number 4. I think I'm on number 4. Make sure you stand 10 toes down. One thing I learned, I know back in the day they used to say nurses eat their young, meaning that the older nurses, instead of helping out new nurses, that they would basically throw them under the bus or not help them or give them a hard time. Although things have changed a little bit because now you have teaching hospitals that pride themselves on getting new grads and teaching them and supporting them, I still feel in my experience that nursing is like a prison. Like, when you see the movies or when you hear about people that went to prison or served time, that they talk about when they first get there and everybody's looking at them, trying to figure out what they're about, what made them come in, who they are, who their attitude is, what their attitude is. And then there's the one that decides to test them and try to take their cornbread, right? To see if they're going to let you take the cornbread or if you're going to stand up and fight, even if you get your behind whipped. I think, I think nursing is like that. Nursing, you get there and everybody's trying to figure you out. Who are you? Especially if you are a black girl or a black person. And I hate to say this like this, but I'm gonna give it to y'all straight. Especially if you're a black female, because the expectation is you're coming in with all the attitude and the sass and all of this. So they're trying to figure out if you're gonna punk them or if you can be punked. And when I started off, mind you, my first job in nursing was in the ICU in Louisiana. I was the only black nurse, and unfortunately, when you work a specialty, as a black nurse, you're often the only black person in the specialty. Let me tell you something. People watch you and they size you up and they'll test you. And I think, especially in Louisiana, I was so careful to not want to come off like to attitude. I don't want to say stereotypical, black girl with attitude. So I was trying to be very easygoing, right? But by the time I got to my second hospital that I worked at, I learned that, yeah, wipe the smile off your face and make sure that you stand 10 toes down when you talk to people. Make sure they put respect on your name. Like Birdman said, you could still be professional, you could still be friendly, you could still be a team player, but make sure people know not to play with you. The first time somebody disrespects you in any type of way, make sure that you check it. Every time. Every time. Let them know that you're not the one nor the two. Pick somebody else, don't pick me. Because if you ever let it slide the first time, it's a wrap. The last one that I can say, and I'm 10 minutes in, I can't believe it, is know your worth and charge some tax on that. I remember back in the days, I used to be excited when I would hear the hourly rate for how much a job is paying me. Now my mind works a little different. Now I always think if they're willing to pay me this, I can only imagine how much they're making off of me, right? So let's say, for example, you work at a home care agency and they're willing to pay you $60 an hour. You'll be like, oh, okay, especially if you're coming from the hospital. Because let me tell y'all something, the hospital don't pay anything. The hospital is where you go to get experience and keep it moving. That's the place for new grads, in my opinion. So, you know, when you come out of that and you hear somebody willing to pay you more, you're like, oh, yes. But you got to think about it. How much are they getting paid an hour without ever touching a patient, without ever having change a wound, a dressing, without having to go into the filthy house, without having to make sure you don't pick up bed bugs and pests? So if they're willing to pay you $60 an hour, they're probably making $150 or more. An employer will never lose. So if they're paying you that amount, you always got to think, wow, I wonder how much they're getting paid. And so to me, I've looked at entrepreneurship very different, because I think that's the only time that you're really going to get paid what you're worth. And if you don't even want to start your own business, make sure that you're not timid or afraid to ask what you think you're worth. Make sure you stand up for yourself, that you advocate for yourself, that you know what you bring to the table, and that you're paid accordingly. Because a lot of times these jobs will hype you up with a title or a position and have you feeling like you're a big dog. Like, you know, they throw a director on it, manager on it, head of blah, 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 chief. They throw these 4 words around: head, chief, director, coordinator. And, you know, people get excited because it's like, I'm the head of da-da-da-da-da. Make sure that your pay reflects that. Because a lot of times I will see the nurses in those positions and I will be like, oh, how much does she get paid? Like, how much more than the regular staff nurses? And they'll be like, girl, not even $1 more an hour. Not even $1. Yet they're on call, yet they're doing this, yet they're doing that. So just to be able to go, I'm the director of blah, blah, blah. Make sure that the position matches the pay, that the responsibilities and the requirement matches the pay. Some people are obsessed with titles. Me personally, I can only speak for me again. I've never been one of those. I don't care what you call me. I want the checks to clear and I want the pay to reflect what I think I'm worth and what I need to survive. Not just to survive, to thrive. So if you're a person that you care about the titles, go for it. I value my flexibility. I value my license. I value being able to feel fulfilled at the end of the day. Nothing's wrong with management. Nothing is wrong with moving up. Just make sure that you're getting paid what you're worth. Let me know if I should do a part 2.